Thanks for the support as a channel member, Todd Thomas. Quick mention that I am back on Twitch tonight. It's been a week while I've been poorly, but I think I'm almost better now. Not fully better, but almost better. So back on Twitch tonight, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. We're continuing the home save that we started a couple of weeks ago. So it would be splendid to see some of you come over there and get stuck in with home on FM20. Hello and welcome to part 58 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we've got two league games for you. We're away against Scunthorpe and at home against Bolton. We've got another one of those spells of loads of home games in a row there. But we've been very good since you were last with me. Apart from, so we had... October's been iffy, but September was so good that despite an iffy October, we are still top of the league. 16 games played, 33 points on the board. Doncaster and bizarrely Dulwich Hamlet, who I think we've run in with them before and established that they had a tycoon takeover at some point, didn't they? Landmarks, yeah, they had a tycoon takeover 4 years ago and have been charging up the league. Started in Tier 8 way back when, and now looking for promotion up into Tier 3. They are doing their own road to glory. Has this guy been there all the way through? So Gavin Rose is competing with me for manager of the save. We need to put that guy in his place. It's got very much a feel of Chester last year when Chester followed home all the way through the system as well until like the championship. Those kits are very cool, by the way. I like their kits very much. How they're all just a little bit of a variation of each other. They are super cool kits for Tier 8. I like this club all of a sudden. But I don't. They're our rivals. Evil Dulwich Hamlet. And of course, they are the ones who knocked us out of the playoffs away a couple of years ago as well. So we certainly have previous with them also. So this is the team that we're playing for the game against Scunthorpe. I think I am pretty much settled on this or something very close to this being my best team now. Normally Dean would be in there. We'd have Barnes in there probably. And O'Driscoll would have to drop out to allow the two of them in. But we've got a few injury problems at the moment. Dean is out for 3 weeks with a concussion. Barnes has got... what's wrong with him? Why can't I click on him? He's out for a few more days and then he'll be back. Hattersley, we gave his debut in the last episode, immediately got injured. So Williams has been back in ever since. Dodd's also been injured. So McNulty's had another long run at right back. So I think McNulty is quickly emerging as one of our better players. He's actually wanted by some teams from the league above. So we need to keep a little bit of an eye on that. A player who looked like he'd been a total flop when we signed him last year has just emerged as a star this year in a different position. Love it when that happens. So Williams in goal, a back four with Mark Sheffield, O'Driscoll, Lavelle and McNulty. Broadbent and McWilliams in midfield. Goldie, Palmer and Berry supporting Dodds up front. Let's get into the game and hopefully continue in good form or get back to some good form. We did win our last match, but the previous two, we lost both of them. So I guess form-wise, we're still not in great form, but we are still top of the league and we'd like to stay there. So let's win this football match, please. That was my team talk. Can we just convert that into a button click somewhere? I'm expecting a win today, I think, is the less wordy version of the speech I just gave. It would have been much better to be able to give them the full speech, though. Is that Brandon Fleming? Did we have him in this save? We didn't. That must have been in a different save this year. I thought he might have been a former Bourne player. Maybe we had... Did we have him in non-league to legend this year, or is he one of last year's stars? There's so many players who are recurring characters on this channel now. I can't keep up with who played for us where. This is why I need a Wikipedia page where we need like the LOLLUJO database where someone can keep track of this stuff properly so I can go back and reference it. I ain't doing it though. Feels like too much of a job. We've given away a penalty here. And hopefully we can, of course it's Flem. I clicked on the man's name and then he scored a goal. It's like I've not played this game before. I should know how it works by now. If you click on an opposition player, they will definitely score a goal against you. And I just don't learn that lesson because time and time again, it just bites me in the eye. And it's happened again there. Now they have a corner and we're scrabbling around to get it clear. And it is Palmer who's going to come away with it. And we've got a counter-attack on here because it's 2-on-2. If Palmer can squeeze it through to Dodds somehow, he can't. But it's broken free to Goldie. And we're still 2-on-2. Or 2-on-3 actually. But that guy doesn't count because he was far away. Goldie couldn't get the proper shot away. Football trivia news, because that's a feature that we have in these videos. Oh, it's time for football trivia news. It's not even football trivia, it's Kev trivia, and I can't do it until we're back at the other end of the pitch again. But this is one of many football pitches that I have stood on. One of my claims to fame is that I stood on a championship football pitch and a beach and stood in the snow all in the same day. Way back when I was doing my first podcast years ago, it was when Scunthorpe were in the championship, so that's how long ago it was. But we went to Scunthorpe to do a little bit of a look around the stadium, stood on the penalty spot at that end of the pitch, and we then went to the beach at Grimsby, and on the way home it snowed as we passed through Grantham. So beach, championship penalty spot, and snow all in one day. That is a challenge for the Kings. If you've ever done something similar, let me know down in the comments. But you haven't, because that kind of thing is unprecedented and impossible to replicate. But I think it was Cleethorpes Beach, actually. We drove past the Grimsby ground and went to Cleethorpes Beach and had fish and chips, and it was really tasty. But yeah, that penalty spot at the other end, got shouted at for it. We weren't supposed to go on the pitch. How were we to know? They let us in the ground. We're obviously going to go on the pitch. We were monsters. Right, Dodds now looking to get a breakaway going at this end of the pitch. We'll call this the Kev end, because obviously this is where I have stood. I imagine it's probably a different stadium now. It certainly wasn't called the Sands Venue Stadium when I was there, so I don't know if this is a new ground. The one that I went to seemed fairly new, so I guess it's just a sponsor. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the Sands Venue is. Why would you call something a venue stadium? Surely just the Sands Venue or the Sands Stadium, unless there's somewhere else called Sands Venue that sponsors the stadium. It's a bit of a mouthful. All the same, Dodds can't get the ball clear, and Lavelle nods it forward, looking for Broadbent, but can't quite get it there. We're missing Dean in midfield at the moment. He picked up his concussion in the last match, and he has kind of been running things for us all season long. And it is a big miss to not have him in there, because as much as I love Terry Broadbent, but he's not quite got the class and the quality that Dean has. Nodded down to Broadbent, who's going to try and show his class and quality with a world-class pass for Dodds, who can't quite force it past the goalkeeper, but Broadbent absolutely did his bit there, and Dodds owed him more than what he delivered there, because it was such a good pass. Palmer passes it to Lavelle, and I think I'm going to ask for a little bit of first half creativity, because it just feels like we should be doing better in this game than we are. Every time we get the ball, we look dangerous. But looking at the stats, they've had 3 clear-cut chances to our 1, despite not really doing much else. They are carving out better opportunities. So we just need to focus in a little bit on trying to actually score a goal rather than just having shots, which I think is what we've fallen into the habit of doing. Palmer shoots from range, and he was trying to do both. He was having a shot and trying to score a goal. I'm comfortable with that. I don't mind if that's how we have to do things, but I still think carving out proper opportunities is the more efficient route to goal. And there is a good opportunity. It's for Berry, and he heads it straight at the Scunthorpe goalkeeper. And not even gone down as a half chance, it seems, and everything stopped. I thought we were crashing for a minute there. What is going on? Is my computer suddenly decided it can't run Football Manager? That's happened a few times in recent episodes. These save files aren't so big they should be breaking the game yet. And my computer is the same computer I've been using for years, so it shouldn't be suddenly unable to play Football Manager. But it does seem to be struggling at times at the moment. Berry plays it forward, finds Dodds. Dodds trying to get something going on this left-hand side again, but can't. This is not the time for my computer to break. In the current financial climate and with what's going on in the world, I can't go and buy a new computer. Sort yourself out, you stupid machine. Right. We need to be assertive, and I want to see a better showing in the second half. I think that's fair. The players seem to agree. I have frustrated Dodds, but he frustrated me by missing several good chances in that first half. So I would argue that we're now even. Oh, he's very frustrated. He's upped the ante, has he? He's gone from frustrated to very frustrated. Well, I can happily increase my frustration levels as well, because I remember when you were any good, and now you're not. Useless turd. Right, Scunthorpe are in again here. Williams makes a save, and O'Driscoll, I mean, he's already given away 1 penalty today, And he was very close to doing it again. And that's such a poor goal to concede. It's been given offside, thankfully, but that would have been such a soft goal to concede. It's just aimlessly hit forward and then a looping header aimlessly over the top of the goalkeeper. And it's only just offside as well. Is that the same Gleeson that we had on loan? He was on loan from Scunthorpe, wasn't he? It looks like they're playing him at right back, whereas we were having him on the bench and coming on in midfield sometimes. Never even thought to use him as a right back. McWilliams now looking for a big ball over the top for Dodds. Dodds is in again, and I am now upgraded to very frustrated at Graham Dodds because he's got to do better with chances like that. He is in the team as our lone striker, our poacher. He has to be our goal scorer. McNulty trying to get something going again. He's done well to get another opportunity at it, but it's not enough to get another crossover. But he does have a corner now. And I think we're going to take Dodds off in a second. Corner comes in again and nothing really comes from it. But we are creating good chances and Dodds is just wasting them. McNulty nods down to Berry and shoots wildly high and wide. And it's just like the story of our game so far. Berry's done very well to win the ball back there. He's got McNulty on the overlap, but plays it back to all the way back to Lavelle, in fact. And now it goes back to Williams. What is this? Why has it gone all the way back here? What is happening? Broadbent almost giving the ball away from a horrible pass from Williams. And we've managed to just totally balls up an entire move. We were in quite a strong position at the start of all that. Right, here's Goldie to try and get things going again. He's got Gleeson to try and get past, which should be relatively easy. Cross comes in, Berry is there, and Berry scores. It's 1-1 on the hour mark, and that's our tactic. Go up against Gleeson, who we know wasn't even good enough to get into our team, and we also know he's playing out of position, so Goldie should be able to just skin him all day long. He does there. It's a lovely cross. And it's a lovely header from Berry. And we've figured out that if we just take Dodds out of the equation, we're quite good going forward. So I think that probably has to be the tactic. So let's take Dodds off, who's now motivated all of a sudden. Well, he would be because he knows he's coming off. That's going to motivate him, isn't it? Right, Palmer is going to come off for Chapman because Palmer also not having the best of games. So Chapman can come on in behind there. Chapman. We've got a Chapman coming on. So it must be good. And I think it might be time for some creativity. 10 minutes of creativity to end the game. We'll bring Richardson on that side. No, we'll leave Richardson out there. And we will ask for get creative. I mean, a draw here is okay. Scunthorpe, I think, are a decent side. That being said, where are they in the league? Down in 18th place. A win here would be better than a draw. Mark Sheffel looking to get something going. I guess we've also got to take into account we're missing our two best players in the shape of Barnes and Dean. So a draw is okay, but obviously a win is always better than a draw. I can't think of a circumstance where that's not true. Goal kick. I don't even know what he's trying to do there, but somehow Scunthorpe keep hold of the ball. I'm just watching that in amazement that we've managed to not come away with that with the ball. Robinson's in here though. Robinson doing his very best Graham Dodds impression, and then somehow also getting just one more touch on it to make sure it's a goal kick and not a corner. What is happening there? It's like we don't want to win the football match today. Right, we have a corner. Chapman to take. It's a lovely corner from Robertson. Falls to Lavelle, who's wearing gloves. What is he wearing gloves for? Berry, back to Lavelle. Lavelle to McWilliams, who shoots. It hits the crossbar and it's back to Richardson, who I think he is actually onside. I didn't get too excited straight away because I was convinced that was going to be disallowed, but I don't think it has been. It is an excellent effort from McWilliams. I think it's this guy here who's playing Richardson onside when this shot comes in. It is him, and Richardson is in and scores. And in the 91st minute, it's 2-1 in the league, or one of the Lincolnshire derbies, and that is an example of one of those times where a title-winning team goes and wins a game that they weren't playing very well in. They're the games you've got to win, the ones where you're not playing well and you're missing your best players. We are still top of the league, and now we have another promotion clash against Bolton. So a couple of changes for the Bolton game. Barnes is fit enough to come back into the team, so he comes in for Mark Sheffel. T'other guy, whose name I can't remember, O'Driscoll, is suspended, so he's had to drop out of the team. Washbourne comes back into the side for him. two centre-backs not really match fit. Not ideal, but we'll be fine. Dodd also back in at right back as well, as he is also now fit enough to play. We're trying Chapman as our deep line playmaker in the absence of Dean. Broadbent was fine, but he just didn't have the creative oomph that Dean has, and I wonder if Chapman might be able to offer that, so we'll try him in that position. Other than that, it is the same team that played in that last game. It's just given me the warning that Washbourne might not be fully fit. I mean, to be fair, that entire defence, there are question marks about fitness for all four of them, whether it's recently recovering from injury, not having match fitness. So I think we might be a little suspect defensively today, but hopefully we'll be all right. Hattersley back in goal as well is the other thing, because we wanted everyone to not be fit, because, you know, why have 4 unfit defenders when you can have 5? But I did like Hattersley in that one game that he played, so now he's fit, he can come back in as well. Logic, you got to love Kev Logic. Let's have an entirely unfit pack 5. Oh, I've got to stop picking teams when I'm not very well. I sit there doing it, thinking that looks like a good team to me, and then I have to talk to you lot about it. And I think what I should maybe start doing, I might have to write this idea down. Maybe I should start picking the team on camera, so I have to justify my decisions as I'm making them, because justifying them afterwards is a challenge sometimes. Oh dear. Right, Berry's brought the ball down brilliantly there, and he's now charging through the Bolton defence. As much as we've got injury and fitness issues at the back, our front 4 certainly are all fully fit and have played a lot of games recently, fully match fit, should be raring to go. Hattersley, I can't decide whether that's a good save or something that he should have kept hold of there, but either way, I think it's Lavelle who got him out of trouble off the back of the initial save, then clearing it off the line. But Bolton have a corner, and Lavelle heads clear from that as well. But Bolton continuing the attack, and Lavelle heads clear again. McWilliams tries to come away with the ball. It ends up falling for Berry, and Graham Dodds, turning really rather nicely on the halfway line, holds the ball up well, plays it in for Berry, and then continues his run. Dodds looking a lot more lively today. Dodd, not Dodds, trying to get the cross in, can't, but that actually looked like quite a decent attack where everyone did their role that they were supposed to be doing, which you can't really argue with that when everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. It looks like the game has decided that save from Hattersley was a good one, because it's got him down as the best player on the pitch so far, performance-wise, and that's the only save I remember him making. Dodd with a cross to Dodds, and the Dodds combine for the goal, and it's a 6th goal of the season for Graham Dodds. All those chances he missed in the last game, I mean, he had 2 or 3 that were easier than this one. I think we might have another Luke Plange style player here, not in this style of play, but in the style of goals that he scores. In that if he has too much time to think about it, he messes it up. But if he has to just act on instinct like he did there, then he's got a good chance of sticking it in the back of the net. So maybe we need to stop playing for through balls and things for Dodds, because he can't really cope with one-on-ones, and do more getting it out wide and crossing. More of the traditional Bourne tactic that got us this far. We've been trying to get away from that wing play thing. But then it did really suit Dodds way back when, because when Dodds had that season at us when he was younger and got his 30 goals, he was obviously playing as a poacher in a 4-2-4 that was all about getting the ball out wide and whipping in crosses. And he scored for fun in that kind of system. So perhaps that's what we need to do to play to his strengths. I just don't know that I can bring myself to go back to that now that we've got away from it. Barnes, poor header, leaves us in trouble, and Bolton are just knocking the ball around quite comfortably, and they've played it over the top of Dodd here, and they're just waiting to pick their spot, knocking the ball around. We're not getting anywhere near them. This is where we need somebody to put a foot in, and this is the problem with playing Chapman as our most defensive midfielder, because he is not a defensive midfielder. If we'd have had Broadbent or Dean in there, either of them would be a lot better at getting their foot in that kind of situation. I think we've given away a penalty here, haven't we? No, they've given away a free kick against McWilliams. Good. Right. I think it makes sense to do that, because I think we need a tackler in there. Goldie's having a terrible game, so we can bring. Was it Richardson who scored in the last game from the left wing? It wasn't. It was, wasn't it? Let's bring him on. And we're in that really high angle shot again from the place that doesn't exist in the ground. Palmer plays it all the way back to Dodd, who's got loads of time to pick his pass. He was looking for Richardson. It falls to Barnes, and there's Dodds again. And Dodds scores his second of the game. After a very frustrating first match, Graham Dodds has turned up in this second one. It's because in between the two matches, I've made an offer for a new striker. If he ends up coming in, you'll meet him in the next episode. But Graham Dodds clearly doesn't like the idea of being replaced and has now got himself a couple of goals today and is playing very, very well as an out-and-out striker, poacher type chap, which is obviously what he's good at. Washbourne plays it across to Lavelle. Lavelle all the way back to Williams. We've got nearly 1,000 people here at Abbey Lawn today, which I know 600 of them are from Bolton, but 400 Bourne fans is pretty good for us. It would be nice if our fan base could grow maybe a little quicker. I can just imagine Peterborough down the road, in just one division above us, just laughing at how few fans we have. But that's who we should be looking to steal fans from. Richardson does very well to eke out a shot for himself, but the shot itself leaves a lot to be desired. And we're into the final 10 minutes or so. Palmer would be the man to come off, but Chapman, who would replace him, is already off. So in actual fact, we'll bring on McNulty. McNulty didn't really do anything to justify being dropped other than just, I wanted to play a really unfit back four, so McNulty can come on and play on the right-hand side of midfield instead. And I think this will be McNulty to take. It is McNulty with the free kick. It was a lovely one. It didn't quite get the spin, get the deflection it needed to end up in the back of the net, but it was a lovely free kick. And now it's with Broadbent over to Washbourne, who plays it forward, looking for Dodds. Dodds has got too long to think about it this time, and because of that, it leads to nothing. He was offside as well, but back to goal Dodds, not as good as launching himself onto the end of a cross Dodds. We've learned that about him today, but more importantly, we've picked up 2 wins without our best player, and we are now 4 points clear at the top of the league. But because it's a league that has 3 promotion spots, we're actually 9 points clear of Bolton, who are our nearest chasers. We're not even at the halfway point of the season yet. We're looking very, very good for automatic promotion this year, which would be lovely. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.